Good afternoon. My name is Sabrina Brightstar. Keep Your Hand in Your Skirt podcast. Today's conversation is going to be about swapping keys and codes, about vibrational resonance, swapping and receiving frequencies from our multidimensional aspects or our multidimensional soul family. What am I talking about? I'm talking about those experiences when you're talking to someone or you hear someone, you hear a song, maybe a podcast, a person, maybe a speaker, maybe somebody on the radio, an actor, actress, maybe somebody you meet at the grocery store. But someone is talking and your body is just leaning into it. Your body just has the experience like, oh my gosh, I just like, there's something welcoming, there's something familiar, there's a resonance that you just find yourself magnetically drawn to. What is that? Well, we live in a reality where the way we communicate, like it's just one form of communication. But we know that there's multiple different ways of communicating. For example, our body communicates differently than our mind and our like English word translation communicates. So sometimes our body gets in the frequency, gets in the vibration of something that just resonates with our body. It can be a geography, a place in geography that your body's like, you just feel like you're just melting. You're just like, oh my gosh, this feels so familiar. I just feel like I'm home, or I just feel so alive. That's a type of communication that's happening. I call this type of communication swapping keys and codes with your multidimensional aspects. And the swapping of keys and codes is so special because it opens up, it activates layers and pieces of our own multidimensionality. I believe we are all one. I believe in oneness, but I believe there's many aspects of me that are dormant, that are turned off, wrong word, but that's the concept. There's aspects of me that I have not turned on yet, that I have not activated yet. And as I meet different people, go to different places in geography, hear different sounds and tonalities, maybe musical instruments, maybe they're plants, maybe there's shells or stones, as these different aspects come into my field, my body has a reaction, and to me that's an indicator that those things or people, those consciousnesses are activating me. I am swapping keys and codes. So for example, one time I was really inspired to go to, I just had to go to Santorini. I just had to go. I just knew I had to go. I just knew I had to go. So I was telling the story like I have to go to Santorini, and I made the assumption that I wanted to go to Santorini. That makes sense. But I got the energetic telepathic message that Santorini, the island, was actually calling me. Does that make sense? Like sometimes there's another consciousness that's actually dialing the phone, contacting you. And we all have these experiences when we start to listen to these other forms of communication. We start to realize, like, hasn't there been a time where you just felt such a magnetic draw to a place or to a person or to an event, and you just knew you had to go? Humans, because, we tend to think we're so like, we're so superior. We tend to think like, oh, I'm the one that felt the call. It was my idea. I'm the one in charge. I'm the one with the power. I made the decision. So over the years, telepathically, I have gotten information, not just from like human type bodies or non-physical type bodies, but like geography bodies, like mountains, right? Like stones. I've gotten the telepathic message, like, no, we put the call to you. We want you to come here so we can swap keys and codes, so we can co-create together. Because if we're all one, which I fundamentally believe, we all come from a oneness. We all come from the one, all that is. So as we exchange our frequency, our essence with other aspects, we ignite each other, we activate each other, we co-create. So we can get called, right? You can be called. A desert might be calling you. An ocean might be calling you, right? You know, I've been called strongly by the Pacific Ocean. I've spent so many months in the Pacific Ocean this year because it's undeniable. The call is so strong. My heart just like busts open being with the Pacific Ocean. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about is I've been listening to some different physicists, some different mathematicians, scientists, people that understand, I want to say, not geometry. I've been listening to Joe Rogan and Terrence Howard. Holy mothership. Like, I don't understand a word they're saying, but I cannot not keep listening. I listened to the first one. It was a 3-hour podcast. And now there's a second one, a 4-hour podcast. I don't have a clue. I don't have a clue what Terrence is saying. But my body, my heart, my essence, my soul, my spirit is like so magnetically drawn. And so I was having the conversation, like, why am I listening to something that I logically don't understand? Like, my mind doesn't grasp. I don't have this training. I don't have this education background to follow what these patterns, these geometry stories that he's telling. I don't understand them, but I cannot not listen to it. So I was talking to myself. I'm like, what is that? And myself was showing me it's the same as when I listen to light language. I love light language. Wendy Kennedy, one of my favorite light language. There's so many people speaking light language now. My body loves it. I just love light language. Christine Day. Eke o te ene a. Eke o te ene a. I am, right? Like, I don't know what it is, right? But my body likes it. And so I was in this multidimensional conversation with myself saying, like, why am I spending so much time listening to Terrence Howard on this Joe Rogan podcast? And my body was like my intuition, my multidimensional self just is, these are frequencies, these are resonance that I'm familiar with, even though my mind doesn't understand it. Like light language, my mind, it's not translating these sounds, these tones, these rhythms, like shamanic drumming. Why does my body love the drumming, the deep drumming cadence that happens? I don't know. I'm not really a big music person as far as listening to a lot of music. But get me in front of a gong, let me hear this shamanic drumming, and I just like melt. I'm just like in ecstasy. Why? Because these sounds, these frequencies, these tonalities, these spaces, these forms of communication, they're activating me. I'm swapping keys and codes with them. I'm co-creating with different aspects of me that have been dormant or have been not activated yet, not turned on yet. And so my suggestion, my encouragement to you, if there's something that you feel this magnetic pull to, just let your body have the joy. Even if your mind doesn't understand it, but your body loves it, just allow it to happen. because it like I can feel like listening to these speakers, or like Nassim Haramein, right? This physicist, like I don't know what he's saying, but I get like my state of being, my energetic state, my frequency state, my vibration changes. I feel good. So having that realization or that awareness or just that curiosity, like why do certain places just feel so good? Why do I just feel such a love, a warmth, an open-heartedness, a kindness, a generosity, a support? Why? And why not allow those calls, right? You can be getting calls, right? That's why I wrote the book, Intuition is Calling. Please answer or text back. Like there are aspects of your multidimensional reality, right? The aspects of you, fractal pieces of who you are. If we are all one, there's fractal aspects of who you are that are summoning you, that are calling you. Pick up the phone and answer. If you feel called to something, let your body like lean into it and track how you feel. Track if you notice a difference from before you went or to after you listened or after you went to the location or after you had the conversation. Just lean into it. Give your body that gift of co-creating with all that is. Thanks for listening.